Imagine a world of perfect peace, beauty, and love. A world where everything was exactly as God intended. This was the Garden of Eden, a paradise created by God for the first man and woman. It's Adam and Eve. But in the midst of this flawless paradise, a single choice was about to change the course of human history forever. Adam and Eve lived in magnificent harmony in the Garden of Eden. God had provided them with everything they could ever need: delicious food from countless trees, breathtaking beauty in every corner, gentle animals as their companions, and a profound sense of peace that filled their hearts. Their connection with God was direct and unbroken. They walked with Him, talked with Him, and lived in His loving presence every single day. Amidst all this abundance, God gave them just one command, one simple rule to follow.
Oh.
He said, "You are free to eat from any tree in the garden.
Oh.
But you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Oh.
For when you eat from it, you will certainly die." The tree stood in the middle of the garden, beautiful but forbidden symbol of their obedience and trust in their Creator. Life was perfect, a seamless existence of joy and innocence. Until the serpent appeared. He was more cunning and sly than any of the other creatures God had made, and he was ready to deceive. With quiet, deliberate movements, the serpent slithered through the lush grass, his eyes glinting with mischief as he approached Eve. He began his deception with a simple, twisting question, designed to plant a seed of doubt in her mind. Whispering, he asked, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" His words were subtle, a distortion of God's generous command. Eve, though perhaps a little surprised, answered truthfully. "We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden," she explained, "but God did say, 'You must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die.'" The serpent saw his opening. With confident and deceptive words, he countered God's truth. "Will not certainly die," he hissed. "For God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." The temptation was powerful. The idea of gaining special knowledge, of being like God Himself, began to grow in Eve's mind. She looked at the fruit. It was beautiful to look at, and surely delicious to eat. And the serpent had promised it would make her wise. Curiosity and desire welled up within her. Forgetting God's clear warning, she reached out, took the forbidden fruit, and ate it. Then she gave some to her husband, Adam, who was with her, and he also ate. One choice, one bite. And in that moment, innocence was lost forever, as the vibrant colors of the garden seemed to dim just a little. A shadow falling over paradise as sin entered the world for the very first time. Instantly, something changed within them. Their eyes were opened, not to divine wisdom, but to their own vulnerability and shame. For the first time, they realized they were naked, and a feeling of guilt and fear washed over them. They hastily sewed fig leaves together to cover themselves, but they couldn't cover the feeling in their hearts. When they heard the sound of God walking in the garden in the cool of the day, they didn't run to greet Him as they usually did. Instead, they hid among the trees, fearful and ashamed, their perfect relationship with their Creator now broken. God called out, His voice filled, not with anger, but with a deep, sorrowful tone. "Where are you?" Adam replied, "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." God's next question went straight to the heart of the matter. "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" The moment of judgment had arrived. Adam blamed Eve, and Eve blamed the serpent, but the consequences of their disobedience were unavoidable. God, in His perfect justice, pronounced a sentence on each of them. The serpent was cursed above all other creatures, condemned to crawl on its belly and be an enemy to humanity. Eve was told she would face great pain in childbirth, and her relationship with her husband would be fraught with conflict. Adam was told that the ground was now cursed because of him. He would have to toil and sweat his entire life just to get food from it, and eventually he would return to the dust from which he was made. The most painful consequence of all was their expulsion from Eden. God sent them out of the garden, away from the tree of life, separating them from the paradise He had lovingly created for them. As they left, the sun began to set on their old life, a symbol of the darkness that had entered their world. This story from the very beginning of the Bible teaches us a timeless and powerful lesson. Our choices have real, lasting consequences, and true life and peace are found in obedience to God. Adam and Eve's story shows us how easily temptation can challenge us, how a small seed of doubt can lead to a decision that changes everything. Right. But it also reveals another side of God's character. Even when we falter, even when we make mistakes and turn away from Him, His mercy and guidance remain. It doesn't abandon us. Instead, His love continues to call us back to Him, offering a path to forgiveness and restoration. As Adam and Eve looked back at the garden one last time, there was sadness. But there was also a glimmer of hope for the future God had planned. Temptation will always be a part of our lives, but through faith in God, the wisdom He gives us, and the courage to follow His commands, we can choose the path of righteousness. Remember, every choice you make matters. Seek God's guidance in all that you do. Find strength in Him to resist temptation. Always embrace His incredible love and mercy. Thanks for watching. If this story inspired you, please like, subscribe, and share it with others.